Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And today I am so excited to be here with you for our Monday Crypto Mindset Mastery. Thank you all for joining the channel. Good morning, Eric. How you doing, brother? And welcome to everybody else that is watching. Today is a special day for me. Talk about being, thankful and gratitude and all of the, things that Thanksgiving and Christmas, kind of bring together. Today, I am doing my stream here. You can see kind of from a special location. So I've got a ton of things to be grateful and have gratitude for. And hopefully, folks, you do too. So today's probably going to be a little bit shorter than normal. And I'm going to start off with a couple of announcements. Hopefully this all ends up being correct, folks. If anything changes, I'll probably let you know about it on Twitter, in the Telegram group, and in the Discord. But for tomorrow, we're not going to do a Trader Tuesdays video tomorrow. I believe we're going to be back on track for the Wednesday Crypto Gems. I'm excited about doing that. Have a lot of good things that I want to talk to you about. But the Trader Tuesdays, we're not going to do tomorrow. The following Tuesday, I'm going to try to make it happen. Also, for Wednesday's live stream, instead of doing 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I am currently on Eastern Standard Time. So I'm 3 hours later than normal. And noon here, and then by the time 1 o'clock rolls around at the end of the stream is just too late to be getting going and doing everything that we want to do for the day. So we're going to move the live stream up to 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday for the Microcap Gems. This is a tough video for me to put together in a way because I've got so much going on in crypto. I want to just talk about crypto and heck with all of the mindset mastery stuff. But when it really comes down to it, I really know that what is going on up here affects everything else so much. And one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about, gratitude and giving is because I know that right now is a really tough time for a lot of folks, including myself. When it really comes down to it, my father, who I spent all of my holidays with and stuff, passed away about 1.5 years ago. So, a couple of days ago for Thanksgiving was the second Thanksgiving, without him. And, and on top of all of that, we're starting to get into some incredible times in crypto, but there's been, a lot of things that have led up to now that weren't, fantastic. And so still digging out of the hole and working hard to, get back to the place in life where I was back in the 2021 bull run. I'm confident that over the next few months, I should be all the way back on top of the world, but there's definitely some challenging times going on. In the meantime, I did a little bit of a move and restructured my life in some ways to get on top of everything that I want to get on top of. But, it's kind of tough. When my mom passed away about 5 years ago, and so when my parents met, my dad had 4 children from a previous marriage, and my mom had 2 children from a previous marriage. They got together, they got married, and then they ended up having me a couple years later. So I grew up with two half sisters that were about, I want to say they're about 5 years and 7 years older than me, somewhere in that ballpark. And, as kids, we were pretty darn close. But over the last handful of years, when my mom passed away, one of my sisters and I got into, a big spat and haven't spoke since. So I've got, a sister that I haven't spoken to for 5 years. I've got another sister, probably out of all of my siblings, was the sister that I was the absolute closest to, especially as I got to be a young adult. And unfortunately, through different life circumstances, her and I are not getting along very well right now, and barely speak. We haven't spoken now for, quite a while. She's battling some demons and got some things going on in her life. But I guess my point is, and then the 4 siblings from my father's first marriage, we never really grew all that close. We didn't live in the same household. We lived a ways apart. There was some distance. I got to know them a little bit, but it's not like, we're really close. So sometimes it's easy on the holidays to kind of think, man, I've got all of this family that isn't really family. Like I've got, friends in my life that are closer in a lot of ways than some of these siblings. So it just kind of made me think about how I know I'm not alone. There's probably every single one of you that are watching this, today, maybe have a parent or a sibling or somebody that you were maybe pretty close to and really loved a lot as you were growing up. And then, now, things aren't so good. And so I know that holidays can be kind of bittersweet. You're grateful and you're thankful for the people that you do have and the things and the blessings that are in your life. But sometimes it can be you can get easily distracted by, thinking about all of the things that you don't have or all of the relationships that aren't the way that you would like for them to be. And so, I'm just kind of here in a moment of understanding. So if you're one of those people that's like, we just watched that movie Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn, and right in the beginning of the movie, if you've never seen this movie, you definitely got to go watch this movie. It's hilarious. But right in the beginning of the movie, he is at this little girl's house, and he's like a repo guy, and he's taking away the furniture and the TV and stuff because the father hasn't paid the bills. But there's this little statue outside in the grass that says "Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas! Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas!" just over and over and over. And it just, Vince Vaughn is so frustrated by the end of this scene that he goes running over and just tackles the thing and kicks it in the head, knocks the Santa head off of it, and then gets in his truck and rolls down the road because he's in no mood to be cheerful and to be part of the season. He hates Christmas. And for those of you that haven't watched the movie, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it's definitely a great movie. And hey, Em, you want to come get Facebook famous? No, I'm just kidding you. You don't have to. I'm just joking around. My son's girlfriend just came walking out. And so, yeah, my wife and my son and his girlfriend are having a good time hanging out and enjoying some other parts of the world. But anyways, guys, what am I trying to say? So if you're one of those people that this time of the year isn't your favorite time because maybe you're going through some struggles in life. You're going through some things that you're not happy about. And it's hard to have that Christmas spirit and that Christmas joy. Part of the title of this video was designed to remind us to take our eyes off of ourselves. It seems counterintuitive, but A, we'll get back to gratitude. But B, we're going to talk about giving, really quickly. And, giving is so hard to do when you're in that place in life where you just are frustrated and unhappy about a lot of things that are going on in your life. The last thing in the world that you want to do is think about how you can make other people happy, how you can give and add joy to other people's lives. Let me click my screen share here real quick and see if I can pull up these websites here real fast. And I did, and now I just got to get over here and actually share them to the screen. So this first one that I pulled up is I got to get back over here. There we go. So this first one that we have here, I typed in verses on giving generously, and Deuteronomy 15:10 popped up. And it says, "Give generously to them and do so without a grudging heart. Then because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all of your work and in everything you put your hand to." In being a blessing to others, we sometimes forget how God can bless us, how God can and will bless us in return. And so, it's pretty, it's pretty straight up in that Bible verse there. Give generously to them and do so without a grudging heart. That's so important. Although I'm of the belief that it's better to give, even if it's a little bit grudgingly at first. But God sees your heart. So give without a grudging heart. And it basically says right there, and God can't lie. God's promises are concrete. He's never lied. He can never lie. And so it says right here, then because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in everything you put your hands to. In being a blessing to others, we sometimes forget how God can and will bless us in return. So don't necessarily, I'm not telling you to go out and be kind to others just for what you're going to get in return. But it does promise that if you give generously and you're looking out for others, that you will be blessed. And one of the things that I've noticed that I've been blessed with is just a inner peace and a happiness that I can't explain. There's something about when you help other people and you see that smile on your face, on their face, and you know that you absolutely, are making a little bit of a difference, even if it's just buying somebody that's standing out in front of Starbucks, cold and trembling, and you just go into Starbucks and you spend $5 on a hot cup of coffee for them. That might not transform their life forever, but I guarantee you for the next 30 minutes or so, after you come back out of that Starbucks and hand them that cup of coffee, and and treat them with a little bit of dignity, that they are happier than they were before you came along. And so I try to make it a goal in my life to make people's lives better and to make them a little bit happier after I leave, or because of the time that we spent together, to add a little bit of value to their life. Because if you come along and you help that person have a better half an hour, and then somebody else comes along in an hour or two and maybe buys them a sandwich, and now they've got some food. And I'm not just talking about homeless people, folks. I mean, you can do this with your coworkers. You can do this with your friends. You can do this with your family. And it's not always necessarily about giving of your finances. Sometimes just a big smile and really being happy when you talk to people. I have a little bit, I feel like I have one of my natural abilities, something that God has given me. And I've worked on cultivating it too. But if you're the barista at the Starbucks line that takes my order, if you're the guy behind the counter at McDonald's that takes my order, if you're the checker at Safeway or the dollar store or someplace that's checking me out, I feel like I've got a really, oh man, what's the word for it? There's a genuineness to me. So I don't just walk up and be like, how's it going? I mean, I really walk up and like, hey, how are you doing today? And I look them right dead in the eyes and make that eye contact and make them know that I really care. Like, I'm not just saying, how you doing today? Because that's what you say. Like, I'm like, hey, how you doing today? Life treating you all right? You having a good day? And by the time people walk away from that interaction at the counter of the coffee store or the Safeway or whatever, hopefully I've brightened up their day just a little bit because I made an extra special effort to really let them know that they're seen and that we're grateful for them. When I say, hey, thank you so much, you did an incredible job today, I don't say that to just every single person. I do it to the people that did a good job, but I let it be known. We had a server last night at the restaurant that we were at to, and I made it, very, very well known to him. Hey man, you do your job incredibly. You really gave us a first-class experience. Thank you so much. And then gave him a couple extra dollars too. But how many times in life does somebody do something that we really appreciate, but we never really take the time to let them know that we appreciate it? And those little moments, you can take somebody that's gotten beaten up by the last 10 customers, and you can make them forget about all 10 of those customers and the next 10 that they're going to have by being sweet and genuine and loving and caring and showing them that they matter, because they do matter. One of the things that frustrates me about rich people sometimes is the ones that believe that because they've got more money that they're better than other people, which is not true, even to the tiniest degree. I've always believed and felt like money is not going to change the way that I treat people. And so I'm practicing that now. I don't care whether you're, like a janitor sweeping up and cleaning the bathroom at the Starbucks, or if you own the Starbucks, I'm going to treat both of you with respect and dignity and love, and be there and try to help make your day better. So what does giving generously look like? Once again, it can be your time. It can be just your care and your love. Picking up the phone and giving somebody a 5-minute phone call, you might totally change their day. And I know that it's work, but that's why it's sacrifice, but that's why it's meaningful. I have a close friend, a guy that I really love a lot, and that I've gotten, just a incredible friendship with. And one of the reasons why was his, I believe it was his mother, passed away. And he had all of the people that, made the quick post on Facebook saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss." But I actually picked up the phone and called him. And at the time that I called him, we weren't like super close friends. We were good acquaintances, and we had talked a couple of times. But when I called him, he said, "You know what, Brad? You're the only person that's called me. There's been a lot of well wishes from the computer and this and that, but you're the only person that's taken time to actually call me." And, we had a great conversation, talked for about 30 minutes. And after that conversation, our friendship has really blossomed, and it's been, and it's awesome. And he's in crypto, and it's created some opportunities for me, and I've created some opportunities for him. But it all came from a phone call. And I didn't make this phone call thinking to myself, hey, if I call this guy, maybe some good things are going to happen to me down the line. I called him because, my mom passed away in 2019, and my dad passed away, I guess it was in 2023. 2022, 2023, I don't remember, 2023, 24, 2023, in May of 23, about a year and a half ago. And so I understood what he was going through, and I wanted to just be able to, dig a little deeper. Like when you ask somebody, hey, how you doing? Most people are going to give you I'm doing fine, or things are great. But they're not going to tell you about the fight that they just had with their wife. They're not going to tell you about the electric bill that's 3 weeks overdue. And if they don't come up with, $500 by next Friday, their electric's getting turned off. They're not going to tell you that kind of stuff unless you actually dig a little deeper. And I'm not saying that they might never tell you that their electric's going to get turned off in a week, but they might be a little bit more open and willing to tell you that things ain't as great in their life as they wish they were, that they wish that they, could be making some extra money, that, give you opportunities to be able to help them and to do good on their behalf. The other verse that I wanted to talk about here really fast, and then I'm going to go over into the chat. I wanted to share this tab, and then I got to get over to my StreamYard and change this tab. Wrong one. There we go. So the reason I'm pulling this up, people, I know that not all of you, are believers the same way that I am, but I do think it's important to share this with you because of the one thing about this verse. So let me just read it, and then I'll go back and tell you why I'm sharing it. So this is Malachi 3:10. And it says in the New Living Translation, "Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, so there will be enough food in my temple. If you do, says the Lord of heaven's armies, I will open the windows of heaven for you. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. Try it. Put me to the test." And folks, that try it, put me to the test. That's not my words. That's right there. It's in the Bible. This is the only time in the whole Bible that God challenges you to test him. Everything else in the Bible, he wants you to take on faith and to do it and believe it before you see it. But in this one here, Try it. Put me to the test. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse so there will be enough food in my temple. If you do, says the Lord of heaven's armies, I will open the windows of heavens for you. Read that again, folks. I will open the windows of heavens for you. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take it in. Folks, that's abundance. I love the sound of that. And I can give you my own personal testimony, folks. Up into probably my late 30s, early 40s, I never tithed. I wasn't a huge churchgoer either, but even when I did, I never really tithed. I was always broke. I just barely had enough to live, and I never tithed. And then when I started going to the church that I'm still a part of today, 18 years later, called Valley Bible Fellowship, now just Valley Vegas Church, I learned this principle. And the thing that really made a difference was the pastor said, hey, God doesn't need your money. The 10% that you give God is not going to change God's life. God can get everything that he wants done with or without you. The only person that you're hurting by being greedy with your money and by feeling like your 10% is better with you than it is with God is you. And, I'm not here to judge you or tell you what to do with your money. I'm just here to simply say that when I started giving my church 10% of everything that I earned, all of a sudden, most of my financial difficulties went away. There was months and months and months and even years at a time where every single month I wondered exactly how I was going to pay rent. And as I started tithing and being more generous with my money and taking my eyes off of me, because that does take some faith when you're not having very good luck living on 100%, the idea that you can just give 10% of it away and be better off than you were before is hard to swallow. But I can tell you from my own personal, and once again, don't believe me, test it out for yourself. As God says, put me to the test. I guarantee anybody that's watching this that makes the decision that they're going to start tithing 10% of their income to their church or to some place that is meaningful to them, I guarantee you, if you come back on this Monday live stream in 2 or 3 months, you're going to have amazing stories to tell. God said, test me, and God never fails. So there's absolutely no way. I bet everything that I own in my whole existence that if you start tithing 10% to your church, 10%, 10% everywhere you go, I guarantee you God will do more with your 90 than you can do with your 100. It's amazing. All of a sudden, when I started tithing, all of a sudden, my cars weren't breaking down as often, because you can be amazed at how often a little car breaking down and costing you $500 or $1,000, and boom, you realize if you have an unexpected car expense for for $1,000, that would have been tithing on 10 grand. So I'm not, I don't want to go into all of the ins and outs of it, but there's a lot of things that God can do in your life that save you money. Maybe your car runs for another 6 months before it breaks down and you have that expense. Or there's a lot of different things that God can do. But I just know that God said, test me in the Bible. I tested him and he came through with flying colors. I've always been better off financially when I was giving 10% to my church. And even over the last, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years and longer, it's probably been 15, 16, 17 years since I really started tithing. It took me a while of going to church before I really believed it had started. And over the last 15 years, I've had times where things came up and I got out of the habit of doing it. So I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm telling you, during the times where I quit tithing, it's unbelievable to me how all of a sudden I have all of these financial stresses and pressure, and I'm worried and I'm anxious and I have all this stuff going in my life, and it feels like bills are hitting me from every direction. I'm wondering what in the world is going on. And then I'll remember, oh, that's right, you haven't tithed for 3 months now, Brad. And all of a sudden I'm like, hey, draw a line in the sand. It's time to get back to that habit. And I'll start tithing and giving to my church. And almost miraculously, things in my life financially start to get better. And so once again, try it yourself. Just, don't take my word for it. Try it. If you're making $5,000 a month, going to cost you $1,000 to try it for a couple of months. Tithe $500 for the next couple of months and see for yourself if you aren't happier, if you don't have more peace in your life, if you don't have a better life, if you aren't financially more secure than you would be. The other reason for this, folks, is it creates a mindset abundance. Anytime you want to hold on to something and grab it tight, afraid to let it go, you're creating a lack in your mind. And anytime you're living life through a lack or a mindset of lack, you're going to attract more lack into your life. So this isn't a big like The Secret, where I don't want to talk about the law of attraction a bunch today. I've talked about that in the past, but at the same time, the law of attraction works abundantly. It also works in lack. So the more you're thinking of lack, the more you use the words, I can't afford it, the more you're going to not be able to afford it. We've talked about that dozens of times on this show. That sentence should never come out of your mouth. I cannot afford it should never, ever, ever come out of your mouth again. The words, how can I afford it, should come out of your mouth. So anytime you're thinking about a car, a home, a vacation, you all of a sudden it's sports time and you got 3 kids that are all starting sports and you need to figure out how to buy them tennis shoes and cleats and all of the stuff that comes with sports. Don't ever say, I can't afford it. Always say, how can I afford it? Because your mind has unlimited potential. It's unlimited potential that your mind has. And I guarantee if you start asking, how can I afford it? You're going to get some ideas, and all of a sudden something's going to pop and you're going to do something that you hadn't even thought about. And all of a sudden you're going to be able to afford it. Like I keep telling you guys, I don't know how many of you have taken it to heart, how many of you have done it, but like we're offering private sales all of the times to our group. So why not, bless some of the people that you love by helping them to get in on some private sales. Like if I tell you that you can buy a, $1,000 to $5,000 worth of a private sale and you can buy it, say at a penny, why not sell it for a penny and a tenth, 1.1 cents, and now somebody pays you. So they pay you $110 for $100 worth of tokens. Now you got $10 in tokens free. If you do that for 5 people and you collect $550, you send the $500 in for the private sale. Now you've got $50 that you can use for life, or you can send that $50 in and use it for free tokens. Now you've got $50 worth of tokens that if that 10X is at launch, you helped all of your friends turn 500 into $5,000. And then you also turned your 500 into $5,000, because if you do that with 10 friends, you got, well, actually you would have $100 worth of tokens that would turn into 1,000 if you did it for 10 friends. If you did it for 5 friends, you would have $50 worth of tokens that turned into, 500. But sometimes some of these tokens are amazing, and you can even charge, $1.25 for a $1 token, if you will. So now you would collect $125 for $100 worth of tokens that you're going to give back to your friend. You do that, for 10 of your friends, you've now got $250 worth of those tokens that are yours. At 10X's at launch, you just made $2,500. If at 20X's at launch, you made $5,000, and you have zero risk. You didn't use any of your own funds. There's so many different ways if you're thinking about it and trying to be creative. Plus, this goes along with you're helping people get involved in crypto, because you can call up folks that have maybe never invested in crypto. And the cool thing about it is, like, they can literally just give you the $500 or the $125 or the $1,000. Like, literally most of the time in these sales, I will accept up to $5,000 and sometimes more. So if I've had people that have gone out and raised $10,000 or $15,000 through their network, and they ended up with several $1,000s worth of tokens for themselves. So always ask yourself, how can I afford it? Never say I can't afford it. And so that's the part about giving. Let's talk a little bit, about gratitude. one of the things that I've found in my life, different challenges and different things that I've gone through, like I literally, I have type 2 diabetes that I've been fighting for a handful of years. And part of the reason I'm fighting it is because I keep going back and forth, doing the right things for a few months and then doing the wrong things for a few months. But, this diabetes has caused me some uncomfort. There was a few Thanksgivings ago, I think it's been about 5 years now, but a few Thanksgiving ago, I had something on my posterior, on my rear end, that just didn't feel right. And, long story short, it started hurting and it was getting bigger. And I went into the emergency room and they held me overnight. The whole week of Thanksgiving, I was in the hospital, and I forget even what it was called. What was it called, babe? Yeah, I had an abscess. And so they literally had to take like one of them ice cream scoopers or like a melon baller, and they literally took a chunk out of me about yay big around and about this deep. It took, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months for it to totally fill all the way in. And it was miserable. It was miserable for me. It was miserable for my wife, because she was the one that had to dress it every day, take off the dressing and clean it out and spray this disinfectant and stuff into the wound. I mean, this was a wound. This was this was a big wound that had to heal. I've had some foot ulcers lately, foot ulcers where a little spot on my foot starts to like turn red, and like a little hole kind of starts to go into the center of the area that's affected, and it can get infected. And long story short, the reason I'm telling you this is so not too long ago, I was kind of feeling sorry for myself with this foot ulcer. It was I couldn't go on my walks to do the 75 hard the way that I wanted to. And I was having a pity party, if you will. I was, crying on my shoulder, boo hoo hoo, poor Bradley. And then I came across this post on Facebook. I'm in a group called 75 Hard. And I came across this post where a guy had gone from about almost 400 pounds down to 200 pounds. He'd lost half of his body weight, but he's this picture of him. He's on a pair of crutches, and his leg was amputated right below his knee. And that happened when he had lost about 100 of the 200 pounds. This guy had an operation and was amputated half his leg, or, the bottom part of his leg was amputated, and he lost 100 pounds while his leg was amputated from the knee down. And here I am crying myself to sleep at night over a little foot ulcer. Oh my gosh, man, talk about feeling a little frustrated and disappointed with myself. I also went to a Life Surge event not too long ago at a local church in Vegas, and I cannot think of the guy's name. There's a couple of different people that have been born without limbs, but this gentleman literally was born without a left arm. His right arm basically comes out of his shoulder, and it just looks like a hand, and it's a small disformed hand. And then the same thing, he was born with no legs, but he had like a little tiny little foot that kind of grew out. So this gentleman, here he is, he's got no arms, no legs, and yet he's totally self-sufficient. As he was growing up, his parents let him be independent, and he figured out how to put on his clothes. He figured out how to do things. He's married and has children. And he's got an incredible life, and he goes all over the country inspiring other people. But this guy, I mean, it's hard. You're sitting there in the audience, and I don't care what you're going through in your life and how bad it seems. You look at this guy and see what he's had to overcome in his life, and you just, you think to yourself, man, Brad, what a wussy you are, man. It's unbelievable that you're letting the little challenges that you have in your life, you're letting them look, this big. This guy has challenges that are just, almost seem insurmountable, and he is looking at them like they're this big. And gratitude is the answer, folks. Every moment of every minute of every second of your life, you have the ability to either feel sorry for yourself about something that you don't like that's happening in your life, or you have the ability to be grateful for something that is happening in your life. And I think I've done this illustration before, but I'm going to do it again real quick. A gentleman named Bradley, who I really love, I have a lot of respect for, puts it like this. Every single one of you that are watching this, no matter how bad of a mood you're in, you might be sitting there in your chair or in your car on your way to work in a filthy, horrible mood, tired of listening to my positive voice, almost turned this thing off a couple of times. But no matter how bad of a mood you were in, if I tell you, hey, I got good news, every single one of you that's watching the stream right now, you reach out to me as soon as this stream is over, and I'm going to send you $1 million. And I was serious. You knew that it was legit. If you were watching this, you hit the jackpot. All you had to do was reach out to me and tell me, hey, I was on your live stream and we're going to wire $1 million into your bank account. Every single one of you would be happy. All of a sudden, you might quit your job. In fact, whatever makes you happy. But I guarantee you would go from whatever kind of a mood you're in right now, and you would be happy. And I mean, like, even if you already got 10 million lying around, me giving you another million is going to be exciting for you. But now let me tell you, you say, what's the hitch? What's the catch? Well, here's the catch, folks. I'm going to give you $1 million right now, but you're not going to wake up tomorrow. How many of you would still want the million? None of you. None of you would take $1 million today if you knew that you weren't going to wake up tomorrow. What if I made it 10 million? None of you would take 10 million today if you knew you weren't going to wake up tomorrow. And folks, that's my point, and that's Bradley's point. This is his story. I'm just taking it from him. Like, $10 million is not as valuable as waking up tomorrow. Yet how many of you woke up today in a bad mood and pissed off that you had to go take a shower and go to work, and unhappy because there wasn't enough money in your bank account, and you listed off while you were brushing your teeth this morning, you thought about 10 things that you don't like about your life. You're not in the shape that you want to be in. You don't have the money that you want. Your kids aren't as respectful as you would like, blah, blah, blah. Your wife didn't cook you dinner last night. Your husband didn't make you breakfast this morning. Your coffee at the coffee shop wasn't hot enough. Your coffee at the coffee shop wasn't cold enough. They didn't put enough ice in it. And folks, that's the problem. So many people go through the whole day focused on everything that they aren't happy about. How about just being thrilled that you're blessed to wake up this morning and you had enough money to go get yourself a cup of coffee? And folks, I'm preaching to the choir. I tell you this all the time, but when I do these talks, most of the time it's because I'm going through some stuff in my life and I'm talking to myself. So please don't get offended by anything that I say. I'm reminding myself, because on a scale from 1 to 10, if I had to grade myself on how good I am at practicing gratitude, I would tell you I'm probably about a 3 in my life. And, I've got a notebook here, just a regular notebook. But if I was to open this up to a blank page and I wrote down all of the things that I'm ungrateful for, all of the things that I wish were different, I could probably write, 5 or 10 things. But if you took the next page and I started writing down everything that I was grateful for, I could fill up this notebook without any problem. Because, folks, you got to stop being just grateful for the big events in your life. Oh man, I just found out that I got a promotion at my job and it's going to make me an extra, $1,000 a month. I just got a $12,000 a year raise. Woohoo! Folks, what about when you find out that your cable bill is going down by $5 a month? You don't get grateful about that, do you? But you should. One of the things about where I'm staying right now is the electricity can be a little bit sketchy. It goes in and out at times, and it hasn't messed with us yet. We just got here, but the last time we were here, the electricity, went out like 3 different times, and sometimes it was for a couple of hours, and it made me so grateful for electricity. Like, when was the last time one of you woke up in, a first world country like the United States and was grateful that you had electricity? Probably never, because it's just there all the time. You just take it for granted. And what I'm trying to tell you, folks, is that if you want to be grateful, start thinking about things that you're not normally grateful for and be grateful for them. Like today, I'm grateful that even though my foot has an ulcer on it, I'm grateful that I have a foot. You know, I'm grateful that thus far God hasn't put me in that challenging situation that this other gentleman had to go through, where he wanted to get in shape and healthy bad enough that he did it with half of his leg gone. God's blessed me with both of my feet and both of my legs and both of my arms. And, you know, thank God I can still grip, and I can pick up this cup of coffee and drink it. That's something to be grateful for, because there's folks out there that can't do that. They don't have a hand. You know, so there's all sorts of things that are going on in your life. And once again, it's just a matter of choice. You know, one of my favorite memes is happiness is a choice. And so many people get frustrated when they hear that. And if you're in a depressed, lonely, miserable state, and I say, hey, happiness is a choice, you probably just want to punch me right in the face. I know that's true because I have some people close to me in my life that have felt like that. They've told me where they were at in that place in their life. They did not like hearing me talk about happiness as a choice. So if you're one of those people that's on here muttering and grumbling and pissed off, and Varnell says, hey, happiness is a choice, but I'd like to have him come live my life for about 15 minutes and see if he's still happy. I'm telling you, I would be, because I am happy. Happiness is a choice. If I found out tomorrow, you know, please God, don't bring this on me, don't test me, but if I found out tomorrow that something happened, I had to have half my leg amputated, you wouldn't see me curling up in a little ball and feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably have my moment, but I'd still be on here doing this live stream. I'd still be building my crypto business. I'd still be figuring out a way to hobble my butt down to the beach and go swimming. You know, life would not stop just because I only had half a leg. And folks, happiness is a choice. And if you don't believe it, test it out. Test it out. If you think happiness is not a choice, I'm wrong, then prove me wrong. And this is what I would do. I would tell you to prove me wrong by getting a notebook, and every morning for the next month, you write down everything that you're grateful for. And I don't care how hard you have to try. Like, if you're not grateful for anything, start making something up that you're grateful for. But seriously, folks, if you're not grateful for anything, if your life is so miserable that you're not grateful for anything, just start thinking about things that you can be grateful for. Like, it's kind of cool that you got 5 fingers. You know how many people don't have 5 fingers? There's a lot of people that don't have 5 fingers. One of my favorite jokes, I love this comedian. He said he was a woodshop teacher, and he's been teaching woodshop for 4 years. I love that when I was a kid, you know, but seriously, like, you know, as little hair as I have left, I wake up every morning grateful for this little bit of hair that I still have left. One of these days, I'm not going to have it. I'm going to have to start shaving my hair bald, but maybe it sounds silly. Part of being happy in life is being childlike, being silly. You know, I was watching my 18-year-old son and and his girlfriend, you know, joke around with each other this morning and banter back and forth and grappling with each other, wrestling. And, you know, my son made a joke. He said, hey, why don't you, let's braid my leg hair. And we all had a huge laugh. You know, my son's 18 years old and he's got pretty hairy legs, but, like, you know, start finding little things that you can be grateful for. I promise you, this is so important, folks. If you're married and you're in a bad marriage and you're unhappy and you're on the verge of divorce and you're ready to leave, do me a favor. Grab this notebook and just write down 5 things that you're grateful for your spouse. And if you're in a super, super horrible, bad relationship, it might take a while for you to think about 5 things. If you can't think of 5, just come up with 1. I promise you, if you're married to this person, there was something that you liked about them at some point in time. Maybe it was their sense of humor. Maybe it was their smile. Maybe it was their eyes. Maybe, I mean, like, there's so many different things that you loved about that person. And so, folks, I'm telling you, if you stop focusing on the things that you don't like and you start to focus on the things that you do like, it might take you half an hour to write down one thing that you like about that person today. I think that if that's the case, that it's super important that you did, because I think most people, even if you're having a little bit of struggle back and forth and a little unhappiness in your relationship, like I could grab this notebook and I could write a list for miles of the things that I love about my wife. And that's not to say that my wife and I have this absolutely perfect marriage. You know, behind closed doors, we have our challenges. We have things, you know, that we're working on and things that we're growing through. But I believe my wife could write a whole notebook of stuff out that she loves about me and vice versa. But also, folks, my wife's sitting on the other side of this room. I'm not going to have her come over here and do it, but she would agree that if she wanted to, she could take that same notebook and I guarantee you she could fill it up with all of the things that she doesn't like about me too. And that's where I'm trying to tell you guys, you have a choice every single day. Are you going to focus on what you love about your spouse, what you love about your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Are you going to focus on the things that you don't like? Like I realize even in talking about this, and I say this is so important, and this is for me, but like I'm getting ready to cry because right as I was telling you guys this, I just had this huge light bulb that went off. And I was telling you about that sister, my favorite sister, closest to me in age, that I grew up with my whole life, that as teenagers and early adults, she was one of my bestest friends, and I haven't spoke to her hardly at all for the last several years. And I just realized in talking to you guys, all I've been doing is writing down all of the stuff that I don't like about her in the notebook. Brad, what is wrong with me? That's a bad question too. Don't ever ask what is wrong with you. Your mind will go to work telling you what is wrong with you. But seriously, guys, I love you all. We're 49 minutes into this thing, and now I know why God put this on my heart. I don't want to cry in front of you guys, but seriously, I just realized all I got to do to restore the relationship with my sister is start taking this notebook out and writing down all of the things that I love about her and quit focusing on all of the things that I don't. And so that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully, because of this video, I'm going to come back to you, and hopefully I'm going to have a restored relationship with my sister in the not too distant future. And it's going to be because I stepped up and I quit focusing on the things that I don't like, the things that I wish she wasn't doing. And I'm going to focus on all of the incredible things about her, because guess what? God made her. God made her in his image. She's got a lot of incredible things. Every single person that you know, God made them. They have a lot of incredible things if you just look for them. Folks, I know, if you've got children that are struggling with drugs, or you've got parents that ain't doing the right things in life, or you got siblings, like, this wasn't why I did this video, but I really like the answer. I just think I figured out the answer. All of us got to do is quit focusing on all of the things that we don't like about them and start focusing on the incredible things that we do love about them. And I'm telling you, I do know this, what you focus on grows. So if you take out that notebook and you struggle to write down 2 or 3 things today, that's okay. Because when you open up that notebook and you do it tomorrow, after focusing all day on the things that you do love about them, on all of the things that you are grateful for, when I write down in my notebook all of the healthy things about my body that I'm grateful for versus the few little ailments and things that I have, all of a sudden that list is going to get bigger. If you're writing a list about your spouse, I guarantee you that within a couple, 2 or 3 days, you're going to think of a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th thing that you love about them. And by the end of the month, you're going to have a list a mile long about the things that you love about your spouse. And what you're going to find too is like a miracle, is all of a sudden they start doing more things that you like. And all of a sudden you guys are a little bit happier around each other. And you're having a little bit more fun in the time that you spent together. And all of a sudden, you're holding hands, and you haven't held hands for months, but you're sitting on the couch watching a movie, and you're holding hands. And then guess what? You wake up tomorrow morning, and when you do your gratitude list, you write down, I love holding hands with this person. We held hands for the first time in months yesterday, and it was amazing. And then it just grows and it grows and it grows. And in 30 days, you come back in here and you're in the chat and you say, hey, Varnell, thank you. I love you. You had a small little part in saving my marriage. You had a small little part in saving my health. I did what you said. I wrote in that notebook every single day. And 30 days later, my wife and I, it ain't perfect. There's still a lot of work to do. My husband and I, it still ain't work. It ain't perfect. There's still a lot of work to do. But compared to 30 days ago when you did that Monday live stream, life is better. And I started to see some hope. Today, you might be looking through the tunnel and it's just black. It's just blacker than black. You can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. It's hopeless. But here in a week or in 2 or in 3, there starts to be a little light. Like I'm looking at the camera on top of my computer and you got that little light that shows you that the camera's working. At some point in time, if you stay with this, all of a sudden you're going to see that little speck of light at the end of the tunnel. And you're going to know if you can get to a little speck of light, you can get to a bigger speck and a bigger speck and a bigger speck of light. And pretty soon, the whole tunnel is going to be light. But you got to start today with faith in the darkness. Man, I never got a chance to go through the chat. Let me go through the chat. I do. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys and the time that you've spent here with me today. And hopefully it was valuable for you, as valuable as it was for me. I'm going to get off of this stupid thing and I'm going to write down a list of all of the things that I love about my sister and then figure out a way that I can, that I can try to recultivate. Don't get me wrong. She's still part of the problem is she is an alcoholic and she's had a tremendous difficult time getting off alcohol. She beautiful, beautiful, incredible woman when she's sober. And unfortunately, when she's not sober, she's not incredible and she's very hard to deal with. But I've been saying, hey, I'm not going to associate with her until she gets sober. But guess what? God probably wants me to be a part of helping her to get sober. So it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to try to write down all of the things that I love about her and probably just send them to her in a message. I don't know that I'm ready to hop on a phone call. I'm just talking out loud from my own perspective. Like, how do I do this now that I've decided I want to do it? I think what I'll do is I'll just write a little bit of a text, a little bit of a letter, tell her that I love her and remind her of some of the incredible things about her and go from there. Try to build a bridge instead of throwing dynamite at the bridge. I don't know where that's going to lead, but I look forward to giving you guys an update in the upcoming weeks and upcoming months. And, hopefully I can be sitting here with my arm around my sister, having her say hi to you guys, someday, and know that it all started from this, special moment that I got to share with you guys on this live stream. So with that, folks, I really do. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you for being here. Good morning, Daniel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Deadwood. Good morning, Deadwood. Deadwood, we got to talk, guys. Same thing with you, Eric. Neither one of you crazy guys have created a Baron token account. And the people that have created those accounts have had some very special gifts and things happen from me. I cannot bless you if you don't even go create the account. Not to mention, folks, that thing launched on November 30th spectacularly. Several $100,000 worth of NFTs were purchased. The token price barely dipped at all. And then over the last 48 hours, it's rebounded. The thing is up about 65x. From the time that I first started talking about it here about a month or so ago, and it's still only at $1 million market cap. But guys, seriously, Eric and Deadwood, you're both in the inner circle. Reach out to me and please let me know what's going on, why you didn't create your free Baron account, and how I can help you. And I want to give you some of the surprises that I've given the other inner circle members. Pablo Noodles, How you doing? Now, Pablo, on the other hand, did go create a Baron account. He got some NFTs, and then he got one of the surprises. He's in the inner circle. He got one of the surprises. So he can vouch that I'm not just blowing smoke here. Those of you that were in the inner circle that went and created your Baron token accounts got rewarded. And folks, all of you, the link is at the top of this description. So go into the description of this video, go connect your MetaMask wallet on the Polygon network to the link. When you hit that link, that's my referral link. Go get your free Baron account created. There's some big things happening. The first thing is the 10 people, they've been segregated. The 10 people that went and created Baron accounts, those 10 people are going to be put into a drawing, and one of them is going to get a $500 NFT that spits off right now about $4 a day. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but you're going to get a $500 a day or $500 NFT, and it spits off $4 in BRE tokens a day. So 4 times 365 is $1,200 worth of value a year. That NFT is going to spit off cash flow for the next 9 to 12 years. And it's still only at $1 million market cap. So if it's spitting off $1,200 a year in free tokens right now, what's it going to be when it's at a $10 million, $25 million, $100 million market cap, folks? It could be huge. So the 10 people that got started by the 30th, they're the only ones that are going to be in for that $500 NFT drawing. But the rest of you that go create accounts now, number 11 through whenever I get ready to do the drawing, I'm going to give away a second $500 NFT. Now, please don't just go create a free account hoping you're the winner. Like, you want to get in there and check this project out. There's no reason, if you go look and do your due diligence on this project, that you're not going to want to get a hold of some of the tokens, that you're probably going to want to get some NFTs besides the free one that you might get. But folks, the link's right in the top of the description. Go get started and check out the Baron tokenized real estate project. Good to see you, Pablo. Hope you are doing fantastic, my friend. Get down here, Dave P. Good morning, Dave. I don't know if you ever created your your Baron token account or not, buddy. I know you've got all of the information. There's one of the 10 people that signed up for an account that I don't know who they are. Their like username is just a string of numbers and letters, and so I don't know who they are. Everybody else created a screen name, a username that kind of sets them apart, and I know who they are. But maybe Dave, maybe you did go create your Baron token account, but if you haven't, man, go get that done. Crypto with Rico. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing fantastic. Let me see here. Do you know that song? I'm happy for sunshine, happy for rain, happy for joy, happy for pain. Yeah, that's a great song. Absolutely, man. It's, happiness is a choice. Absolutely. So with that, folks, looks like I got through all of the chat. And yeah, man, Daniel, amen. A big lesson hitting me directly. I'll always be grateful to God. Amen, amen, amen. All right, folks, with that, I love you guys very much. Hope you have an incredible week. Keep your notifications on. Like after today, there's some possibility that I might do a Trader Tuesday, but I don't think I'm gonna. If I did, it would be much earlier in the morning, because like I say, now it's 1 o'clock here. It takes up a pretty big portion of the day, and we want to go enjoy some fun outside of the Airbnb here. So if I do a live stream tomorrow, it's going to be earlier. What time did I say I was going to 10 Eastern on Wednesday? Yeah, 10 Eastern on Wednesday. So 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is when we're going to do the Wednesday Crypto Gem live stream. If something changes and I decide to do a Tuesday live stream, you guys can always come back and watch the recording. I'm probably going to stick to just have. That's true. My wife just mentioned that I could do it at night. So maybe just kind of hit the notification bell, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That might not be a bad idea. Like if I do something about 10 o'clock tomorrow night after we're done and wiped out for the day, that'd still be 7 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Mountain, 9 o'clock Central or whatever. So maybe that's what I'll do. So keep on the lookout. Maybe there will be a Trader Tuesday live stream tomorrow. We just don't know for sure what time it is. I'll keep you guys posted. So with that, folks, have a fantastic day. There are some new crypto token teaser videos out, so go check out those crypto token teasers, including I did an interview with Jeff Atkins. the owner of Baron, and he's actually the one that is giving away the NFT to one of the 10 people that signed up by November 30th. That is not even from him. The next one that I give away is going to be from me, but that first $500 NFT is just out of the goodness of his heart and appreciating me do the interview and everything. So you want to know a little bit more about Baron, actually get to see and kind of get to know the founder, the owner of the Baron project, Jeff Atkins. Go watch that interview that we published a couple of weeks ago. And last but not least, I've got a video on Token In, the gaming platform that is sitting down at about a $200,000 to $300,000 market cap that I believe is going to absolutely explode and be one of the best possibilities of 100x or 1,000x or more in this crypto bull run that we are experiencing. So folks, if you don't own any Token In, ticker TIN, I highly recommend getting onto MEXC Global and figuring out how to get some. If you can't get on MEXC Global, get in touch with me. I'll have you send some USDT to my wallet, and then I'll buy the tokens on MEXC and send them back to your Martian wallet or wherever you keep your Aptos chain tokens. This is on Aptos chain, but you got Martian wallet and several others. So I'm happy to help. Once again, let me put in that disclaimer, because there's always going to be some scammer watching this that thinks, oh, hey, Brad just talked about sending him some USDT. Let me act like I'm Brad. Do not ever send me funds without doing a video chat, man. It's easy to clone me online. It's not easy to clone this hairdo, though, folks. Man, if you make them get online with you, if they can emulate this hair and this face, more power to them. So seriously, though, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. I did have a sweet lady from my Discord group that got a clone that messaged her. She didn't verify it was me. She ended up sending them $3,000, and it still makes me sick to this day to think about it. And I'm still working on ways and trying to figure out how I can help her get that back. And so I just don't want it to happen to any of you. If you do want 10 tokens, you can't get them for some reason, you feel comfortable sending me USDT and me sending you back the tokens, then always reach out to me and let's get on a video chat and make it happen. So with that, folks, God bless. I love you all. Have an amazing day. I can't wait to see you maybe tomorrow, but for sure Wednesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific Standard Time. Take care. Bye-bye for now.